We're currently seeing you here in partner track. How was Carter originally described to you?
Originally, he was described obviously as the eldest son of the Min family. Min Enterprises is the company that I am the general counsel for. My father, Franklin Min, is obviously the boss, the owner, and he's kind of handed it down to me. And my younger brother, Z, is also involved, but I'm, like I said, the general counsel. So in doing that, I learned that he went to law school. He went to Dartmouth. He is not technically into what his dad wants him to fulfill as far as the company is concerned. He kind of has other hobbies and aspirations such as fashion, couture, basically anything outside of the workplace, to be honest. So it was very interesting to read about him in the beginning, and obviously a ton of fun to actually jump in and play him in the show.
Was there something then about partner track or about the portrayal of Carter that really made you want to be a part of the show?
Oh, definitely. I mean, number one, even though there's only, I think, 3 or 4 characters that are of Asian American descent, just the fact that Arden Cho was being cast as the lead of Helen Wan's story, and then I got to meet the creative people behind like Georgia Lee and directors such as like Kevin Berlandy, and just to be around Asian American artists, creatives, showrunners, writers. It was just a really cool environment. And, it's something that's starting to become more common now, in Hollywood, which I'm extremely happy for. I think, it's our time. We've arrived, we've been here. It's just a matter of the world seeing what we can do and what we have to offer.
It's an incredible creative team behind this series, so I'm sure it truly means a lot to you to be a part of such a special series. And as you mentioned, Arden is the lead as well. There's an interesting relationship between Ingrid and Carter. What was it that they kind of gave you about their backstory?
Well, originally, Netflix is pretty tight about releasing a lot of information, right? So what I was given is kind of what I've already discussed, is kind of just the biographical information as well as my resume. Carter is from Dartmouth. He did go to law school. He is not a practicing lawyer. And I was going to meet, obviously, Ingrid Yun, played by Arden Cho, in the first episode because we actually do this contractual M&A agreement at their firm. As far as that, I was told, we're going to have further interaction throughout the season, but I didn't know exactly what. I could kind of guess based on the sides and the lines and the scenes they gave me to audition for, obviously, but I kind of knew that maybe a potential attraction or something of that nature would be more directed towards my younger brother, maybe. And I, just being the boss man, was kind of like, I wouldn't say her obstacle, but in order to get our company involved with this merger and acquisition deal, she would have to obviously go through me, and from the scene that I read, I don't believe I was going to make it too easy for her because I was already preoccupied with other things going on in my office, such as beer pong and sending one of our employees out with a bang, so to speak, and so, that's the kind of guy Carter is. There's $2.9 billion on the table, and he's more focused of playing a beer pong game with his employees in the workspace, so to speak.
I was going to say that's kind of the epitome scene for him. There's a dichotomy there for him where, he's growing out, but also at the same time, there is business on the line for him. And Arden takes advantage, or I should say Ingrid takes advantage of both of them, both of
Exactly.
those things. Did they have you practicing in your spare time, or was this all just off the cuff, great arm throwing?
You know what? It was kind of a little bit of both, to be honest. I have to give credit to the editors. We would have been there probably all day trying to get those ping pong balls in those cups. But to be honest, that's one thing that, Georgia Lee, her other writing partner, Kim, and obviously our director, Kevin Berlandy, for that specific episode, they really gave me the freedom to play. I remember coming into that day, I think we shot that was my first episode I shot because we shot out of order. And I remember coming in and just telling them, look, I've given Carter a backstory just off of my own artistic prep, and I'm going to go big. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If you guys don't like it, just yell at me. but if you guys are digging it, let's just keep going. And I remember the first take, all of them came out and they're just like, just keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's funny because, when you see the edit, you see, it's nice and tight and, it makes sense and it flows, but that we were having such a ball that day that there's so much that was happening on the front end, on the back end, and it was really a party in that set, on that day. So to be honest, I couldn't be more thrilled with how the final edit came out. I think it really captured that environment. Carter's vibe, he's a little obnoxious here and there, but it was great. It was great to play opposite of Arden because she's such on a mission to come into that office and get my approval. And it's the last thing I want to deal with. So that's why I kind of dish her off to my younger brother towards the end of the scene.
I think that one was probably one of my most memorable, or at least one of my favorite standout scenes for you as well. What were some of your favorite episodes, or maybe some of your favorite moments from on set that you had?
Well, obviously the beer pong scene by far, just because I thought it was such, it was such like a different scene in this legal setting, right? We open with, downtown Manhattan, New York, like very upscale, very fashion forward, high rises and, the city, right? And then she goes out to this multi-million-dollar company kind of located in, outside of Manhattan. And it almost feels like a Silicon Valley environment all of a sudden in a weird way, right? And, she comes into this workspace and, Dottie, my secretary, kind of sets the tone at the very top. Obviously I played her like she's been working for our company for decades. She's an OG in herself. And she's like, there's Carter, this is the boss, so that scene was just, from the lead up to the filming of it to then seeing it in post, it was a very memorable scene for me. But to be honest, I love the first scene. The first episode where you meet my family and you meet my dad, you meet myself and my brother in the conference room at their law firm. I love how the story kind of evolves in the pilot where the tensions are so high for Ingrid. She's got to make this deal happen. She's got to bring all the pieces together. And of course we roll in really late. I'm obviously could care less. I know I'm on my phone. I'm busy doing other arrangements with other people. And you kind of just get that breath of fresh air that we bring into that conference room, because up until that point in the pilot, it's really serious. It's really intense. It's like, what's going to happen? Is she going to, be able to take point of this M&A acquisition thing? And then we come in like, yo, what's up? We're here. Let's do the deal, and I have to say I was actually taken back because at our premiere screening, that scene got a lot of laughs and a lot of reaction, so to speak, positive reaction. And that's the best reinforcement I could get as an artist when the audience reacts on something I never planned for, right? So those two scenes for sure were awesome and very memorable. But also just seeing people like Matty Rauch work. I've been a huge fan of Matt since Banshee. And just being in that conference room with him and seeing him just control that scene. Obviously he's the managing partner, but just, what a privilege to see other actors like that work in that space. And it's really contagious. I love being in the room with actors that motivate me, that I've been a fan of, because it really allows me to, step up my game as well. And I want to rise to the occasion, obviously, and balance the room, so to speak. So those two scenes for sure.
You're a part of social media. What kind of fan feedback then have you been receiving to the series?
Oh man, it's been overwhelming. I have this weird mentality with any project I do. It's like, I'm always grateful for the opportunity to audition, to then book it and to be on set. And then once we are done, we never know what's going to happen. I've been in scenarios where something doesn't even get put out there until 2 years later, it gets delayed. Fortunately for us, I just wanted it to get on the Netflix platform. That's it. I felt very proud of the show. I wanted at least for it to be available to everyone. And when I saw it, I think it was day 2 and it was top 5 on Netflix. And then day 3, it was trending at number 2. That was really odd for me, to be honest. I was, because I'm a fan of Netflix, obviously, and I've watched other shows, and I've watched the top 10 of whatever time I'm watching it, and to see our project up there trending at number 2 on day 3, I literally was like, okay, so people are watching this, you know, and then just, I mean, my DM box, my personal texts, emails. I mean, it was just, it's still nuts. Like I wake up and there's people like that didn't even know, that know me, that didn't even know I was involved with this project, that are like, oh my God, my wife was watching it this morning and I saw you, like, what the heck? Like, this is crazy, you know, and all the feedback from all over the world, you know, which is crazy. I mean, that's what Netflix does, right? And so it's humbling as always. It's overwhelming in the most positive way. And you know, people are already, you know, talking about season 2 this, season 2 that. And you know, I don't even think it's been a week yet it's been out on the platform. So, you
I
know,
know, right?
just to have that feedback and all the positive messages, and just people really just understanding the story and just, you know, vibing with it. I mean, it's been awesome.
My goodness, this is another great series for you. You've worked on a number of wonderful special shows in the past so far. What are the other upcoming projects you've been busy working on?
Yeah, you know, like I said, I've been really grateful and fortunate, you know, especially post COVID and all this, you know, weird stuff that's going on in the world. It's I've actually just really tried to keep up the momentum, you know, of what my team and I have started, you know, years ago. And fortunately, you know, this was a huge project for us, you know, obviously on Netflix. And I was able to do a pilot for Disney, which hopefully will get greenlit. It's called Asian Baby
Sure.
Girl, another Asian American inspired show.
Good.
We did that this summer with a wonderful cast, a wonderful team, director, showrunners, just an amazing cast and crew. Also been venturing off into the feature film world. I have a film coming out. It's a thriller. Can't really discuss. There's going to be a release soon, so I can't disclose anything. But just really fortunate to be a part of that. I recurred on Magnum PI on season 4 when it was on CBS. And fortunately for us as a franchise, it got picked up for season 5 on NBC. So we're hopefully reloading, getting everything going for that, you know, and fingers crossed for, you know, season 2 of Partner Track, you know. Obviously a big one that I just did that fortunately I don't think I'll be coming back is The Old Man on FX with Jeff Bridges. Spoiler alert, I kind of get eaten by dogs at the end of my episode in that one. So I don't think I'll be coming back for season 2, even though it's greenlit for season 2. But a huge shout out to the whole Old Man family. Just what an amazing cast and crew, and all the love to Jeff Bridges, you know, the dude. It was beyond epic working with him. So like I said, more to come, certain things I can't talk about, other things I can talk about. I'm just really just blessed again to keep this momentum going that my team and I have created.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work you do on our screens, whether it's small or now moving to big film features?
Just thank you. I mean, you're talking to a kid who's born and raised in LA. You know, Hollywood is in his backyard his whole life. And I never thought I'd be doing this. And so the fact that I've been able to play such, you know, various characters and like I said, have this momentum in this business has just been a dream come true. Not to sound cliche, but it really has. And you know, despite my characters, I'm approachable. So if you see me, say hi. Like a lot of people, I get it, you know, and I do it too. You know, like people was like, oh, you know, I know you from Warrior, so I didn't want to like, I didn't know if how to approach you or something, you know. But hopefully from Partner Track, people are like, oh, there's that dude, you know, and so come up, say hi. You know, I appreciate the love. I mean, obviously, who wouldn't? But always open to talk story and say hello. So, you know, thank you again for all the support. I really appreciate it.